Welcome back to some new r/PettyRevenge stories, where people share small victories over those who wronged them. I hope you had a great day. The first story is called Holiday Replacement. I used to work for a small delivery company, and I had to deal with the organizing of the delivery runs. It was a time-based operation, and I was constantly up against it. We had gotten a new system that only I was trained to use at the time, and it took me a while to get everything sorted. This girl had gone for the same position as me, but never got it. When the delivery runs were being printed, she offered to check over them, but any slight mistake, even a typo, was loudly broadcast to the whole office. Another mistake. Her boyfriend also worked there, and the two of them would laugh among themselves. All because of petty jealousy. She had been there longer, but I got the promotion, and she didn't like that. Now, I know how hard I had to work to keep on top of things, but she didn't. I would spend any free minute doing prep work, because if you started a new day without doing any, you were going to fall behind. And in the transport industry, this can lead to losing contracts over late deliveries. I had a week's holiday due, and she was to cover my work. She was making it seem like it was no big deal, and she would breeze through it. So I offered no help, and instead planned my petty revenge. I left work on Friday and told my workmate, who was and still is a good friend of mine, that I had done no prep whatsoever. This girl would have to come in and start afresh. My friend called me on the Friday of my annual leave, laughing. Apparently, the girl had to get her boyfriend over to help her, and both of them were stressed all day, and not getting the work finished until 10 every day. Not good at all for a small transport company. Monday morning came, and I was called into the managing director's office. It was a small company, and his office was down the hall. I didn't know what to expect and was getting myself prepared for defending myself. He looked over at me and said, "I owe you an apology. I had no idea the amount of work that was involved." After our chat, I asked the girl how she got on in my absence, and her face was priceless. The next story is called Expense Report. I worked for 8 years at one of the largest advertising companies in the world, moved up to middle management, but built a lot of relationships with very high executives, C-suite, regional presidents, etc. Due to my specialty and reputation, I left in November of 22 for my dream job. Left on good terms, turned everything in, followed all the procedures in the exit interview, including cutting up my corporate Amex as instructed. We were working virtually. My company was to cancel the card. Fast forward to this week. I got an email to my personal account from the guy who runs all the corporate Amex for the old company. Your Amex is 68 days past due in the amount of $26 and needs to be paid ASAP or face the consequences. We will not pay late charges. This is your responsibility. CC'd in the email were a number of mid-level finance folks. I laughed and then spent an hour crafting a snarky response to all. I added in the chief people officer, the CFO, the regional president of the Americas, and the global CEO. I also BCC'd a couple of folks still at the company who would get a kick out of it. Essentially, it said, "Not my problem. Should have cancelled it. It's fraud. On Lyft." I haven't traveled to Red or Lyft riders for years. Did someone check to see why no activity for almost a year? Then, boom, charge? Did HR read the email and say that I left? Nope. So over $26 I know all involved read it, including the CEO, as all respond with either disregard, hope you are well, etc. The CEO simply responded, "Well played. At the rates these people bill out, it's advertising. Everyone has a billable rate. I'm guessing it cost them around $1,000 to read and respond." The kicker? Catching up with a regional president over email, I made a sale for the company I'm currently at. The last story is called Wrong Number. A few years ago, I used to have the same last 7 digits of a phone number, but with a different area code, as someone in my city, who was probably in his college years, who happened to have the same first name as me. This led to more than one confused phone call. The first few months after I figured out what was going on, it was kind of funny. Then it started to get a little annoying. Calls on weekdays at 3 to 4 AM from drunk kids looking for their buddy or something. Sometimes I'd get into arguments with these people, trying to tell them they've got the wrong person, only for them to call back a few minutes later. Still drunk, still dialing the wrong number. I was able to block some numbers, but I'd then get calls from other numbers and so on. After one particularly nasty call, I decided if they were gonna keep raking me up, I'd get even. I had to get up at 7 to 8 AM for work each day. So when I got woken up or called multiple times by the same person at 3, 4 or 5 AM, I took it upon myself to call them in the morning to make sure they got home safe or something like that. Most of the time, they wouldn't pick up on the first call. I mean, I can't blame them, right? They were up just a few hours ago. So I'd go brush my teeth, maybe make breakfast, and I'd call back a few minutes later. Long enough to let them doze back off if the first call had woken them up and they ignored it. This would rinse and repeat until I got someone on the line. Usually it was an extremely groggy, "Oh god, I'm hurting so bad, hello," or a set of "Who the heck is this at this hour?" That sort of thing. I would give them my first name, which is apparently someone they know, cause they were looking for them last night, and tell them I was outside, ready to drive them to work. Then hang up and block the number. Then I'd go about my day, chuckling to myself about that poor person being awoken out of a slumber, only to suddenly think they were late for work, and wonder how long it took them to figure out what was going on. The number of late night wrong number calls died down considerably after a few months of that. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. And now, I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.